You're watching Duct Tape and Popsicle Sticks with Mike and Maria Keiser. Because sometimes you feel like your business is being held together by duct tape and popsicle sticks. On this show, you're not going to hear the latest business fad. You're going to get useful information that you can apply to your own business right now.
Hello and thanks for watching another earth-shattering episode of Duct Tape and Popsicle Sticks. I'm Mike Keiser along with the original Roof on Fire, Maria Keiser. How are you today?
I think you've just dated yourself by calling me that.
You mean Pitbull isn't current? I know my pop culture, folks. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. We appreciate you hanging along with us for a few minutes. And as usual, everything you need to know about reaching us, about going to our website, all that stuff is in the notes right below the video. I've sometimes been heard that it's a bad idea to call out a particular business or a particular company.
But you're going to do
so I'm
right
going to
now.
go ahead and do it today because I want to use it as a lesson, as a metaphor for everybody that is trying to market their business. And it's Starbucks. I know that sadly, and I have nothing against Starbucks. I don't know anybody at Starbucks. I'm not an investor in Starbucks, but especially across Europe, they're closing hundreds of stores. They've closed a ton of stores here in the US. And I had a recent experience that I think helps me at least understand partly why and how it might help you. So I was waiting in line at Starbucks, and the few people that are in front of me are ordering their venti latte with a twist of this and a shot of that and 2 scoops of that and shaken not stirred, or however you go about ordering your drinks at Starbucks. When it was my turn, the people that worked there assumed I knew that the same things that everybody else in front of me did. So it feels like Starbucks felt like they created their cult or created their club or whatever word you want to use, and they just assume I understand or that I'm part of the cult. And I'm not. And the people that worked there certainly didn't make it easier. In fact, they seem mildly annoyed when you're asking, what's this and how do I do that? So I felt like Starbucks has tried to create this image of this European cafe, but they're starting to miss the point. And on top of it, the store was dirty and kind of unfriendly. So where I'm going is, a lot of people talk about branding. They talk about creating an image, creating an identity, but how about just following through? How about just answering questions? And this kind of goes along with last week's show. But instead of just assuming, so I guess the point is we want you to pretend people don't know anything about you when they're looking you up. And what would that mean?
Well, before I go there, can I just call you out on something?
Yes.
Twice in the last 2.5 minutes, you have pretty much said, I'm not cool.
Oh, I said you're not cool?
No, you're not cool, right? Pitbull reference, and now you don't know the venti with a slash of...
No, right. 15 years later, I have no idea what happens at Starbucks. Right.
So anyway...
your beard turns gray, life just goes to hell in a handbasket.
So he's not very cool, but I am.
Great.
So anyway, what was the question again?
Well, instead of being Starbucks and assuming I know the language, I want people to, as marketers, pretend that nobody knows a single thing about you. What are some ways to go about doing that and not making the mistake that Starbucks is?
Well, first of all, use King's English. Don't use your insider language or your jargon. People in your industry understand it, maybe the people in your company understand it, but the other people might not have any idea what you're talking about. Use words and phrases that mean something to your end user instead of the stuff that you guys talk about that make you think you sound more intelligent. And assume that people have never heard of you and they don't know what you stand for or what you do.
I so agree.
Even if you think that they would. A lot of times with IT companies, if you've ever been on the phone with Microsoft, and I remember years ago, and they said, "Are you at your monitor?" And I'm like, "I don't know what a monitor is." And you hear that collective sigh. You know, that's why you're there. You're there to help the customer understand, and you're there to help the customer to get through whatever problem they're having. So speak to them in a way that they will understand you. Speak to them in a way that they'll feel comfortable in asking you more questions, and speak to them in a way that makes them want to come back for more.
That is so important. How many times have you seen small business owners will sometimes get frustrated if you don't understand their message? But it's not my responsibility to understand.
Right.
You know, it's Starbucks' responsibility to communicate with me in a way that resonates if they want to grow their business.
And quite frankly, if somebody tells you they didn't understand your message, say thank you, because now maybe that's part of your problem. Maybe you're saying things and explaining things in a way that people don't know what the hell you're talking about.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I think the bottom line of today's show, and as I say, it kind of goes along
Yeah.
with last week's, of being the clear, clean, concise source of information. Combine that with pretending that nobody in the world knows anything about you, and create your marketing around that. Perfect.
Great.
Anything else?
That's it.
All right, well, this old decrepit fella has to go take a nap before I break a hip. So we would like to thank you once again for spending a few minutes of your day with us. We hope you take this message to heart, because it can be very, very useful. And in the meantime, you have been watching Duct Tape and Popsicle Sticks, where we make your business better 3 minutes at a time.
Ciao for now.
You're watching Duct Tape and Popsicle Sticks with Mike and Maria Keiser.